matchup, Pro versus Parados, SOS against Deer, and I'm crossing my fingers that we get to see some awesome disruptor play from both players.
Oh, yeah. Sejong Station, I think, is known as one of the best maps ever made. Shout out to the guy who made it. I should know this, but I
think he's a Korean guy.
Yeah.
LS Lunatic Sounds, I believe. I'm not too sure on that. We'll probably have to Google that and confirm our knowledge. But
yeah, but like when I heard about this, I'm like, the one map that I want to come back is King Sejong Station. The other ones, I don't really care. King Sejong Station, get that back for me, and they did.
Yeah. So. For me personally, my top 3 maps of all time, probably Whirlwind, Daybreak, and King Sejong Station. I don't know about you, but yeah, those are like my favorite 3 maps that I've seen so far. I've watched Starcraft 2 since the closed beta, so in my opinion, those maps provided the most entertaining games, and I'm so glad that we get to see King Sejong Station here at Pro League.
Yeah, it's going to be really awesome. Also, I hope it does get to the ace match, because then we'll see Frost today as well.
I believe we're not going to be seeing Overgrowth
I don't think
today.
It's no, yeah.
So we'll definitely be seeing that tomorrow. And hell, there's Stork. A Stork with a nice suit on. Normally he's in the player uniform, but I guess unless he wants to play in the ace match today and he plays in the suit,
that would be so baller, man.
Sick.
He just does that and he wrecks whoever he plays against. Like,
and then in ceremony, he's like, oh, he doesn't have a tie on, but like wiggles his like collar.
So guys, Deer versus SOS. You can see SOS has one of the best records in Pro League for sure. He's got a really nice win ratio overall, and he's played so many games. Deer, on the other hand, has always been inconsistent, but nowadays he is very consistently really strong. So
yeah, especially having that tutelage of Stork and having another strong Protoss player like Hurricane to talk strategy with. Deer has kind of hit his stride now in Legacy Void. Being on Samsung for a while, you've got to remember he was on Mouse Sports. That was quite a failure, I guess, of a tenure. But yeah, as I said before, now on Samsung and he's doing really well.
Yeah. And Seoul are not having the best games over at GSL recently, so I feel like Deer really has to win this game.
And once again, it's not Incube, but it is Daehyun being the outlier here, 6-1. All of us going for Deer, except for him going for SOS. And
so far, GTR were 100% win ratio, prediction ratio, high five. There we go. Guys, we're going to jump into game number 2 right now, SOS versus Deer. Here in the top left, King Sejong Station, it is SOS from the Jin Air Green Wings.
And spawning here at the bottom right, the blue Protoss for Samsung Galaxy team, it is Deer.
What a treat, man. Here we go, King Sejong Station.
Finally get to see King Sejong Station. I'm so glad that we get to see this map once again.
Yeah.
And I love it when we see, especially in a new expansion, when we see these old maps being played on the new meta. There was that Dream Pool that was played in ladder during the off-season of, I was going to say Heroes of the Storm, Heart of the Swarm. And
everything is hot.
Yeah, I know, everything's hot. So that was a bit of a flop, honestly. But I'm so glad that we get to see Pro League, because you've got to remember, Pro League, there's no WCS points awarded for it.
Yeah.
So Casper and Pro League have that luxury of experimenting with their map pool, and here we get to see 3 old maps being played on Legacy Void.
Yeah, I wonder how much time these players have had to practice, you know, down to like learning about that this was going to be back in the map pool, and then figuring out that they had to play a PvP on this map too. Like, I guess they must have spent the weekend basically preparing for this matchup.
And also curious how much of their previous map knowledge from playing this map in Pro League during the Heart of the Swarm days that they will apply in this matchup in Legacy of the Void. At the moment, we see pretty standard builds so far from both players. Standard Legacy of Void builds, rather. So nothing too crazy going on right now from both players.
Yeah, this map always had a pretty easy to defend natural. The third base is nice and tucked in near your main, so it's not too hard to defend either. You got some decent choke points over there. Taking a fourth base was always harder, because the fourth base on, you know, if you're looking down here, at Deer in the bottom right. The horse place is all the way over there on the left side, or it's in the middle of the map, which is like really close to your opponent. In some matchups, you would go for that. In the past, I think like you know, PVZ, even like TVZ, you would get like a planetary there. You want to put on the pressure, you know. But if it does get that far, they'll probably take the bases on the left side, I'd say.
And you also have to remember that in Legacy Void, expansions do mine out quicker. So we should be seeing, if this game does go onto the mid and late game, players expanding towards their opponent. And with the way that the map is made, I feel that the map allows for a lot of good flanking opportunities, a lot of movement, outsmarting, all that sort of stuff. So I hope we get to see that.
Yeah, lots of ramps and choke points. I think disruptors will be quite good. I hope we get to see that Stalker disruptor play from both of these players. But so far in this game, we did have a 2-gate build out of Deer, making double adepts at the same time, and it looks like a Stargate build from SOS.
Ooh, catches this Stalker off guard, and we'll see if he actually gets the shields off it, but doesn't get any HP. But Deer actually has the health advantage there, I guess. So, but SOS scouting with his mothership core to the main base, he'll scout that there's no tech coming in. And actually, we see some sentries here from Deer. That's a quite peculiar move from him. Like, I'm not really sure what he wants to do with those.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Going for 2 sentries this early. Oh, double overcharge here. Not going to kill the mothership core. Nice control from SOS.
And you have to remember that sentries cost a lot of gas, especially in this early stage of the game. I'm just trying to think of what his idea behind getting these sentries is. As he's getting that robotics, while SOS is going for that Stargate tech, getting that one Phoenix before adding that robotics facility. Oh, these Adepts scout. I thought they were going to shade into that base, but I guess not.
Yeah, look at how much work this mothership core is doing for SOS. He scouts all the tech coming in and even gets a kill, I believe, back there on one of the probes. So doing a nice bit of work so far. We do have Phoenixes out on the map here from SOS.
Actually, thinking more about the Sentry, maybe he might be saving those for the Guardian Shield so that the mothership core does less damage to those probes. That's just something that I might have thought about just then. But we see here a proxy Dark Shrine from Deer. Dirty play from him. And if SOS doesn't scout that, it might be bad news for him, as he's getting that first observer out, but that is going straight to the base of Deer.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting because Dark Shrine is very standard in this matchup now, but usually you get it later, like once you're on 3 bases and stuff like that. I mean, you can get it before your 3rd base and then expand, you know, with the pressure, but he's going to have full scouting information with his Phoenixes flying around and his mothership core near the base, and he's not going to see a Dark Shrine, so he's going to be like, okay, you know, what's going on here?
And as I mentioned before, we saw that little skirmish at the expansion, Deer actually using the Guardian Shield to protect his probes, and I guess that's the sole reason for those sentries. Sure, it's nice, but especially when you're doing a build like this where you're trying to get that really quick Dark Shrine to get those Dark Temples out, I feel that you need to have as much gas as possible to get those Dark Temples out as soon as possible.
Observer hunt right now. Actually, he is going to get it. That's a nice pickup there.
Yeah, nice pickup for
Deer,
SOS.
no other observers on the map currently, so maybe we'll see some Dark Templar tech possibly out of SOS sometime soon.
And here comes the Warp Prism, and luckily for Deer here, he has lured those Phoenixes away from that Warp Prism. I thought he might have cancelled that Warp Prism because of the fact that these Phoenixes are walking around the map, but looks like here, SOS's observer is trying to find a angle into the base of Deer, as this observer here is going to intercept this Warp Prism.
There are no observers back. Oh, there is one. Okay, he's got one here. And the first Dark Templar coming in here is going to be dropped. He's actually going to warp in a couple more.
We'll see how much damage they do. And the question for SOS is, how's he going to deal with his dual prong attack? Because there are these couple of 3 DTs here just doing so much damage to these probes, but the observer here stops that Dark Templar from coming into the expansion. But if he gets that forge, that would be huge.
His DT is already getting so much damage done. 10 kills, getting even more now.
11 kills, 13 kills, wow. And if he gets that pylon, oh my god, that is an Artosis pylon if you told me so.
Okay, finally we get the observer into the main. The army of SOS is going to finally kill these DTs, but look at that, 16 probes of damage. And at the same time, he's taking his third base. So this is exactly what he's trying to do. Just put on some pressure, do some damage, and expand at the same time, especially on a map like this where it's very safe to do so.
Oh, well, we see here that 16 probes have been lost for SOS, but these Phoenixes are flying around the map, so they should be able to intercept any warp prisms that try and come in for further harassment. But he hasn't taken his third yet, while Deer, he's taken his third base, and I don't think SOS is aware of it. So if Deer gets given enough time to get that expansion up, then Deer will have a really great economic advantage coming into the mid-game.
Yeah, Deer on a roll right now. The army of SOS is definitely stronger, though. And with these Phoenixes, he has to be careful with his Blink Stalkers. They can be lifted. Look at this. He's got to blink away.
Oh, he's trying to slap these Phoenixes out, but oh, those 4 Phoenixes just lifting up those Stalkers of Deer, and oh, Deer just has to cut his losses here and just run back.
Yeah, Deer losing a lot of units. He's got to be careful back at home. I suppose the sentries will help out this time. Maybe he can get a wall of force fields going. Looks like he's going to counterattack at the same time, but there is ample defense. He is going to pull from the third base, too.
Yeah, so it looks like here, Deer's just trying to do as much damage with these Stalkers as he can, while these Zealots, Immortals, and Phoenixes of SOS are charging up to the ramp of Deer. Let's see how Deer defends this.
Nice force fields. Look at all the Immortals behind the force fields doing no damage. More and more overcharges coming down, and this attack is not going to be able to kill Deer here.
Well, he might be able to keep this third base up. If he keeps that third base up, that's going to be huge for Deer here. As coming to that battle, SOS did have the advantage, but nice force fields rather from Deer in that previous battle. You got to note that those force fields were placed so well that the pylon overcharges could still hit the units, but they couldn't run away. So.
And that's part of the reason why Deer is one of these, one of the best Protosses in the world right now, as we were talking about. His control is very, very strong. Even down to the blinking, the force fields that we saw earlier on, even the battle between the 2 Stalkers.
Oh, we see here another battle, but all these Zealots actually recharge. They might be able to surround this small army of SOS as these Immortals have to use their shields. And
the flanking Archon!
The flanking Archon! Just doing so much damage. And I think this might be too much for Deer here.
Yeah, it looks like it. So many Blink Stalkers, and even the Archon getting some damage. He's going to back off now, but he's got more Zealots coming around. And all of these Immortals. Ooh, nice pickup.
Yeah, nice pickup there with the Warp Prism of his own, but you look at the supply count right here, 97 to 76 of SOS. And
oh, a recall.
Yeah, that's a recall.
Okay. I mean, he's down 25 supply, and Deer is not going to stop the aggression, but he is going to have a couple of overcharges here, so but I don't think Deer can kill him right now, but he is way, way ahead.
Yeah, as you said before, Deer can't kill the expansion of SOS, but he has that third base up, and once he gets that gas going on that third base, then he can just build any tech unit that he wants and build that perfect composition to roll over SOS eventually.
Yeah. And it looks like for him, the choice is just going to be Immortals being added to the army. He's already got Charge and Blink. No other upgrades here. And in fact, SOS is ahead 1-1 on his upgrades. Deer only going to finish up +1 now.
So we see here SOS once again posturing to make a move out, but we see the army supply here. 9 supply ahead for Deer in terms of army, so if he tries to do a fight with SOS, I'm not really sure whether the upgrade advantage might be able to succeed the fact that he has a small army count. We'll just have to wait and see here. Oh, nice Dark Templars here. There's no... Okay, there's that Observer with the army, but...
Yeah, finally the Observer joining in here. Time War gonna come down here from SOS. Does get the majority of the army, but just look at how many units Deer has over SOS at this point.
I guess the Mothership call as well, so there'll be no recalls here for SOS. SOS has to fight up here at this watchtower.
Well, even Archons being morphed here, that's not really going to help out. The Archons of Deer doing the damage, and he will be able to clean up these Archons. GG takes game number 2 for Samsung. Very nicely played by Deer.
Sick play, Deer, especially with that proxy Dark Shrine, catching SOS off guard there with the Warp Prism drop with those DTs, and I think it's just too many probes were killed by that DT drop.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, SOS had a bunch of Phoenixes out on the map, but he wasn't being super active scouting the map. I'm not sure if he's forgotten, but this map always had so many proxies when we were playing on it.
Like
usually
Stargates,
usually Stargates, but sometimes DTs, and that's exactly what we saw. I think Deer had the better build for that map.
And what I loved there was to allow that Warp Presence to come into the base of SOS. He lured those Phoenixes of SOS down to the bottom side of the map, allowing him time to get that War Prism from the top across to the main base of SOS. And those subtle moves like that is what wins you games at this level.
Yeah, very, very true. Well said. So that is going to tie things up 1-1. Our next map is going to be Dusk Towers. I believe that's Maru versus Solar.
That's going to be a sick game as well. So many sick games here today as saw there SOS struggling to put his keyboard in his bag.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Trap coming in.
He's like
Spurdos buddy.
He's like, I can't believe you lost.
Come on, Young. Gotta win it for the team.
And yeah, we saw it through that game. Reality was pretty sick.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are going to take a quick 3-minute break before we move on to our next game, which will be Maru versus Solar. So tell your friends. We'll be right back.